Hey, what's going on? No, and 2 fumbles, and then we didn't take advantage of the one time we got down there, and it was 4th and 1, so we turned it over on downs. And then there was just some things. We'd usually get the drive started. I think we had only one or maybe 2 3-and-outs. But there'd be something, whether there's a holding call or something we'd shoot ourselves in the foot. So, those are the things that you expect in an NFL game. You don't expect to score. You don't expect to score 30 every time. I think I think our crew will feel as though they had the ability to for this game. But hats off to the Raiders team in general. That's a 5-win team that played as hard as anybody here at Hard Rock, and they get paid too. So we'll learn from the stuff that we can and get better from it. But ultimately, it's a team game, and when you do come up short offensively, you need somebody to pick up the slack. And to have 2 fumbles on the 30-ish yard line in your own territory, and have that equals 6 points, I believe, and then to have a couple very timely interceptions. That's what you have to do to win in the National Football League. You're not always going to supremely execute on one side of the ball or the other. So, not in the. I didn't feel that during the game. There was there weren't that many. I was happy with the overall operation. There was times that we were changing the play based on unanticipated defensive personnel changes. They were trying to pretty much keep us off balance and not have a pattern. So there was a couple times that we were late in the play clock, but overall I thought the operation was solid. No, I mean, I guess to the, I look at a game like this is not necessarily a bad game. It's a game that we came up a little short, and then I wouldn't see any consistency with that in terms of like a pattern. I think, I don't know. I believe you just, how many yards do we have?
Probably over 400. Yeah.
So, I mean, that's hard to do. So, I again, will always be super critical. To call it a bad game, I think would be, I guess, hats off to us for raising your standard. But that I think I was really happy with the way the guys approached coming off the bye. I think you learn a lot about people, how they handle. You probably learn more how they handle failures than successes. And I thought guys were intentional and deliberate to another level this week. I think that our team in general has kind of captured the idea of worrying about ourselves, and each opponent is very threatening, and you have to bring your best. I think there's some stuff that we'll really see in the film in the run game that we could have had more in. They were just kind of playing soft and really, really wide. Their alignments were different, so there was some space there, and I thought we could have had more. But overall, I'd just like to see us hang on to the ball and not have some of the mistakes that really kind of cost us. But it was the first game that I can remember not playing with Durham Smythe, and we lost Achan early, and Braxton wasn't up. So I thought overall, guys in different roles stepped up, and we'll continue to progress. When he came off the field mid-series and SA ran on, we had two backs in the game. I think it might have been the second series. He kind of got landed on, and it was a little painful, and we weren't. I mean, he was politicking to try to come back in the game, but I was a little worried off the rust to go and do that. So we kind of held him back, and we'll see what it looks like tomorrow. He got landed. Someone landed on the same knee, but it was so that's kind of, we just didn't want to mess with him, and we had some positive feedback from the training staff at the end of the second quarter and after halftime, but I didn't feel like at that point that would have been fair to him. No, that's Christian. If you ever watched him at practice, and you watch him in games, he does that literally every snap that the ball's down the field. And I think on that play, when we, in particular, when we go and review the film, there'll be a couple guys that are salty at themselves because Christian probably wouldn't have had to make that tackle had they had the same kind of mindset. But that's what happens when you have players like that have standards with which they go about their game, that you raise the level of everyone. Sometimes that players don't like to see that. They're all competitive, so when you get somebody pursuing past you, that sticks out to them. So hopefully we'll get better from it. But it's he has continued to progress in his game all season, something that he's done his whole career. So I've been very happy with him, and what he brings to us is very important. I'm really hoping they throw at him. Honestly, both interceptions were out of control in difficulty level. So, you could see him on the first one, see the ball, and he was the aggressor. I think he was behind the receiver on an in break, and he bypasses him to get that thumbs together catch that he's diving for. That a lot of receivers don't make that reception. So, and then to track the ball down the field, and to get contacted in the moment of truth, and hang on to the ball. It's huge. So, I think the whole team has gotten a little bit better to a degree since he's been on our team, or since he's been back. And that's the type of effect that players of that caliber can have on people. No, that was ultimately we have to I think all the players will look at the second one. I think the first one the fourth one I'd rather have that play call back for sure, based upon the defense that they did run. Every play I call, the intent is to work. So, I'll always look at myself for each and every one. I think the one later in the game, I think the players will learn from that one. We had some open eligibles, and I think several guys were a little too amped up and didn't let the play out because we had some open eligibles and didn't come up with anything. So in those situations, it is what it is. Every single time something doesn't work, inherently it's like, yeah, wish I would have called a different play that worked. Yeah, and it's definitely not too I don't know, my pattern or stereotype, but that was me adjusting to the particular game, and I was really super confident in the defense. So I felt like a touchdown lead, they would really, really have to. I thought it was pretty safe. So I thought those were big points, and which is why I didn't go for it, which is kind of my knee jerk. But I was adjusting to the situation. Yeah, I think, well, the 4th and 1, to me, I think we would have gotten it had the reason I want that one back is because I think the execution of it could have been better, for the execution to be better, I would prefer to put them in that exact scenario, and be crystal clear. It was the difference between having a ball fake and not having the ball fake is what cost that one. The end of half, I didn't question my decision week 1 when I did the same exact thing. That was we did 2 of those plays starting with 9 seconds and threw it down the field and got a DPI. I think you can't have your cake and eat it too. Again, if I had a crystal ball, it'd be a lot easier to call plays. But there's an inherent risk in every play you try to execute. I knew the risks in that one, but I also knew the reward. If the defense played out the way I thought, it would be a down the field opportunity that we could have had the same situation as the Los Angeles Chargers week 1, which those 3 points were pretty important. So. Oh, no, yeah, it wasn't. I apologize to those guys. I'm not a look at me flag thrower. What was happening is I was engaged in a conversation. I told people to speed me up on, the replays that they got. And then I lost track that I told people that, and I was deep into the conversation, and then people were yelling at me, and I wasn't next to an official. So I just wanted to get them in view. But it wasn't like, yeah, take that, officiating. Their job's hard, and I was just trying to make sure that I literally instructed someone to tell me, and then went and got in a conversation and blacked out. So the second they got back in my ear, because I saw live that it was going to be close. So there's people in the box that have multiple replays that can. That's how we kind of do that whole procedure. So it was just me being out of position. I was very, very happy with Tua because, I'm always wary of Tua because, he is so hard on himself. I knew he was going to be frustrated with the last game, and we had so much time in between. But all of my, anxiety was kind of alleviated in this practice week. I think he might have had his best Thursday practice that he's had since we've been here overall as a quarterback. And then, the one pick he threw was like the timing of the play, and Waddle was running to the middle, or he was running a deep post, and at the time he threw it, Waddle, it was single safety, and so Waddle has to make a decision to go over the top or underneath it. And at the very moment that he threw it, it was Waddle hadn't made that decision yet. So Waddle went underneath, Tua threw it over the top, and immediately when they came to the sidelines, they neither one of them was frustrated and understood. It was probably one of those things that it will help us moving forward in terms of how I coach stuff, because that scenario had never come up. So I thought he was playing very well, and he had command, and he had a very even keel disposition, which is so imperative for that position. You know, I told the team probably a couple weeks ago that in my personal opinion, it wasn't if but when that would occur. I think that there's a lot of very prideful, very high quality players on that side of the ball, and you figure it's just a matter of time with the way that our defense is orchestrated from a coaching perspective, starting with Vic, but really down to all the assistant coaches that, and then you see guys strain each and every week. I talk about practice a ton, which gives you a little clue that I think that's the difference maker in professional football. And all I've seen are guys continue to get better at how they prepare for games. And it's exciting because you tell the team that it's a matter of time before we're able to go punch for punch in any phase, and we're starting to see that now. So I think that just generates more excitement within the locker room and more investment into each other, because it's it's a lot more obvious now. At the beginning of the season, there was a couple games, our first 2 wins in particular, that the defense, that our defense really, that we ended up winning the game in the last possession. And so the whole season, it's been a kind of a team-oriented game, even though there's been a lot of conversation about the offense. But now that we're starting to see this team ball, I think guys are that much more motivated to do the very best they can with this season, because this team has a tremendous opportunity every week, and hasn't shown anything but complete devotion to each other. They like playing football together, and that's just an example. Is when people don't get down, they just continue to hone in on their details and work together. So it's a cool process to be a part of.
Thank you, guys.
All right.